Welcome to the Josh Rants Podcast, Episode 4. It has been a little while since I've talked to you all, so I do apologize for that, but I'm back now, so you're welcome for that. So I want to get into something very, very important here, folks, and that's Dibs. Now, I don't know about any other cities. I don't know about them Detroits, them LAs, them New Yorks, but here in Chicago, we have something called Dibs, and that's in the winter. If the winter is particularly heavy and there's a lot of snow, and if somebody spends like an hour, 2 hours digging out a parking space on the street, basically the unwritten rule is that you can dibs that space. If you take the time to dig it out, you clear it out, you make it inhabitable for a vehicle on the street, and it's of course in front of your house or right nearby, you can then call dibs on it. So you dig it out, and then people will put, a broken chair, half of their dining room table. I've seen toilets. It's kind of funny. The people get creative. But the point is, you dug out that space. You earned the right to have it. You dibsed it. That's the dibs game in Chicago. It's not official, but we all just kind of understand because everybody who's had to dig out a parking space gets it. So my buddy sent me this article. Apparently somebody is not playing by the rules here because according to this NBC5 Chicago article I got here, car window smashed with dibs chair on north side. A Chicago resident's car window was smashed in this week on the north side using a chair from neighborhood dibs game. Unbelievable, folks. Now, here's the thing. The knee-jerk reaction upon hearing this would be like, oh, yeah, you took somebody's space, man. If you just moved their chair or whatever, and you took that spot, and you're not the owner of that chair, you fucked up. But here's the thing. Alec Patterson, the guy, says, quote, I'm very aware of the dibs game in Chicago and 100% respect it, but this has gone a little too far, end quote. He also said, when parking on Carmen, the chair was actually on the sidewalk, a spot down, and I thought nothing of it. That's the thing, folks. The guy claims that the chair wasn't even in the spot. If it was sitting on the sidewalk, out of the parking space, that space is up for grabs. If it was, that'd be a whole different story. Bottom line is, do not fuck with dibs. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about somebody who's been popping up a lot, who I didn't really know who the hell she was. Miss Gina Carano. She plays a character, Cara Dune, I think. Yeah, she plays Cara Dune on The Mandalorian, which everybody loves. I am so woefully far behind in. I'm serious. Like, I'm maybe halfway through the first season, and I haven't watched it in months. I got to come back to it. So no spoilers in the comments. But Gina Carano, she was recently let go by Disney. And she's already filmed what she was going to film, but I guess there was going to be an upcoming spin-off series possibly starring her character. I don't know. And essentially what it comes down to is she made some controversial statements on, Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, one of the social media. She made some controversial statements, and Disney dropped her ass, right? And so, of course, you're getting people stirring things up. Cancel culture this, cancel culture that. Republicans really love to make up these terms, don't they? They make up these terms and these phrases, these catchphrases and slogans that I guess the idea is that it gives them something to say back to people when they don't have actual facts to work with. Like I remember, you criticize Donald Trump. Orange man is bad. Okay, yeah, Orange man is bad. This particular Orange man is a fucking asshole. Now can we get to the real statement? You have Trump derangement syndrome. Again, this is not an argument, so they do this stuff. So the new one now floating around is cancel culture this, cancel culture that. And what it really is just depending on the case, because cancel culture is slapped onto a wide range of things. In some cases, it's just voting with your wallet. You don't like something a company did, so you don't buy their product. You don't like something an actor did, so you don't want to see them anymore. When Gillette did their Men Can Be Better ad, remember this? Republicans freaked out. They're flushing their Gillette razors down the toilet, whatever. When Keurig had done something that pissed off the right wing, they went out and sent out videos of them destroying their coffee machines. But when the right does it, no, that's not cancel culture. No. Only the left. The left is the radical left and their cancel culture. Give me a fucking break, people. And this was not a case of some angry leftist mob coming for Gina Carano. This was a case of Disney making a business decision. I'm sure that if you dug through Gina Carano's contract with Disney, there's something in there about a no controversy clause. Basically, do not cause us any kind of trouble. Do not make noise that's going to distract from our existing plans. And she did. So Disney dropped her because it's just business. they decided she wasn't worth the trouble. Now, admittedly, there are some people who think that if someone says something stupid, they should be fired. They should no longer have a career. They should be just completely done away with. I mean, it depends what you say, right? So here's the thing. Let's take a look at exactly what Gina Carano had said and what was really the break point that caused Disney to want to separate from her. On January 10th, she made a post on, it was Instagram, that says, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today didn't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them, simply for being Jews. And then she goes on to say, how is that any different from hating someone for their political views? I think you hear that, and it's pretty clear that, yeah, she's a real fucking winner, right? To compare the Holocaust to someone criticizing her nonsense beliefs, which I will get to in a second, is complete. It's just so I can't even. So she then deleted that post, and a lot of people on Twitter, hashtag Fire Gina Carano, started trending on Twitter. So here's the thing: she has previously blocked Twitter accounts which supported Black Lives Matter. She posted comments on Twitter which supported theories of U.S. presidential election fraud and was unsupportive of mask wearing. And people have also accused her of transphobia after she changed her preferred pronouns to beep, bop, boop. She said, after months of harassing me in every way, I chose to put 3 very controversial words in my bio. Beep, /bop, /boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less aggressive representation, she says. So much stupid, so much nonsense. I can't even go into it. I'm not going to waste my time because, come on, if you don't recognize how that's some bullshit, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to change your mind. She's one of those people that I would not want to be friends with. I don't like her. I think she's a dum-dum. But do I think she should have gotten dropped by Disney? You know, the answer is no. I don't think she should have. And here's the thing is, yeah, her ideas suck. Her beliefs suck. Her politics suck. She probably sucks. I don't want to be her friend. I don't want to meet her. I don't give a shit about her. But her job right now is simply acting. Her job is dressing up in costumes and playing make-believe for cameras, right? That's your job as an actor. I'm sorry if I'm not James Lipton and I'm not going to elevate your art form. You play pretend on camera. That's what you do. So when you look at it that way, yeah, she's a nutcase. She's an idiot. But I think the important thing to think about is, in the job that she does, do her views affect her job performance? Or can she use her job to negatively impact others? I don't see it happening as just an actor in a space opera. If she was a social worker, if she was a school teacher, things like that, where you're actually there affecting people, interacting with people directly, you could affect young minds, you could hurt people, you could damage people with those views. And if she had those views and she was in that kind of position, but she's not. Here's the thing, Chris Pratt, Burt Macklin himself, Star-Lord, right? Guy's a fucking asshole. He belongs to an anti-gay church. And when he was confronted about it, he gave some wishy-washy reply like, oh, I support them because they helped me with my divorce. You know, a real non-answer. Real bullshit, right? So yeah, fuck you. Chris Pratt, you kind of suck. You're a shitty person. He wasn't canceled. Maybe he should have been. Some people would argue that he should have been. I, again, would argue no. Because him being Star-Lord, in the capacity of his ability to play Star-Lord and to entertain people, it honestly does not matter that he belongs to an anti-gay church. He sucks. He's a shitty person, but again, this doesn't affect the job. You can still criticize the shit out of people. They should be criticized. They should feel the burn. You should put their feet to the fire. But to affect someone's livelihood in such a way when they can't use their job or livelihood to hurt people, I don't see why that's necessary. It's just not. I'm sorry. But on the other hand, cancel culture isn't a thing either, guys. It's simply voting with your wallet. It's simply calling people out for their shit. If I think somebody's an asshole as a consumer, it's entirely within my right to avoid that company, to avoid that actor, to give people shit. I wouldn't argue with always trying to get somebody fired, but if somebody's a white supremacist and they're teaching children, let's say, as an example, yeah, shit can their ass. Because that is going to affect people. That is going to add to the problem. You know, some clod white supremacist wants to work at a fish packing plant. I guess fine. I don't have to be friends with him, but he's not going to be able to reach anybody. You see what I'm saying? Can everybody just step back and think about what's really going on? I feel like a lot of people just get outraged and they don't really think about like why they're doing this. Does she need to be fired because she's a fucking idiot? In this case, no. And so, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about more people who do need to get fired from their jobs because they're so dangerous or idiotic or crazy. And of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to mind. Anybody not in the know, this is somebody who was elected to Congress. She believes in QAnon, which, I could do a whole episode about that nonsense. But let's just say, to sum it up, it's a bunch of nutty conspiracy theories, which unfortunately has gained quite a foothold in the Republican Party. So much so that, in fact, I wonder if down the road we might not have a specific sect of the Republican Party that is just the QAnon people. A lot of the QAnon people were the people at the insurrection. They thought there was a cover-up, the steal, the whole thing, right? Yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is someone who should be fired because of her beliefs. Of course, she was elected. It's a whole different story there. Thanks a lot, Georgia, you stupid fucks. But anyway, so she's in, but she should go. She believes that Jewish space lasers have started forest fires. She, of course, thinks Trump won. There's footage of her, for whatever reason, look it up on YouTube, footage of her molesting a Donald Trump cutout. Like, she's literally grabbing the crotch and, like, stroking it. Like, so fucking bizarre. This woman is nuts. And she needs to go. Get her the fuck out of here. Because she is so nuts. And because she's involved in Congress. She's involved in our government. She has influence over the rules and regulations and laws that I have to deal with. That you and I have to deal with every day. Maybe her impact will be small, maybe it'll be large, but she does not belong there either way. You can't argue with that, folks. She needs to fucking go, and I wish she would go. She's been removed from some committees, so that's good, reducing her influence. But it's scary that we've got at least, I think there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think there's like 2 other people who are QAnon Congress people. Just nuttiness, just absolute nuttiness. This is what the Republican Party is. Congratulations. The party of Lincoln, right? Sure. So speaking of criticizing people and giving feedback and stuff, I wanted to take a look at just the idea of criticism itself, right? Let's just talk about this. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because I recently had something happen that kind of got me thinking about like criticism in general, and I kind of want to just walk through it, think through it, talk through it, see what you guys think. I mean, I'm open to any feedback you have, so feel free to leave a comment or a dislike or a like or whatever. So a friend of mine recently started a podcast with a couple other guys, and I had listened to it, and so I went on their Facebook page, and because I had some feedback, and I left a public comment right on their page. I said, are you guys open to feedback? They said yes. So I went ahead and left a piece of, feedback that I thought was very constructive. I thought it was useful. I thought it was strong criticism, but I feel like any criticism should be welcome and useful. Basically saying that there's 3 hosts. Basically saying that one of the 3 hosts that they have is unnecessary. I feel like the least interesting person is the one who dominates the conversation, and the other 2 guys that I'd rather hear more of, I don't get to hear enough of. So that's essentially what I said. I didn't call anybody names. I didn't do any personal attacks. It was all constructive criticism. This is just based on their podcast. This isn't against anybody personally. That comment got deleted almost immediately. And so then I left a comment saying, so you guys don't want feedback. And of course, that got deleted immediately. Then I got a message, and I got a stern talking to about how essentially it boiled down to how I should have known that when they said they welcomed feedback, they didn't mean that kind of feedback. Like that level of criticism, as they put it, saying that 33% of their hosts should go, is too much. It's too harsh of a criticism to have it publicly out there for all to see. And hey, I'm not going to complain about any of that. I mean, this is their page. They can do what they like. It's a private platform within a private platform. They could do what they like. They could set their rules. That's fine. I'm not here to bitch about that, right? It's just what confuses me, and what I would love to explore more is the person I was talking to had this attitude of like, I should have just known. It was just something I should have inherently known, that this type of criticism would not be welcome publicly. They said I can private message them anything like that, but that type of thing doesn't help them, they said. And then I asked them directly, I said, so should I just not post anything that's not positive on your page? And they said yes. So literally no negative comments or feedback or criticism are allowed on the main front page. And like I said, that's their choice. Do I think it's completely the wrong way to go? You betcha. Maybe it's the fact that I was a band manager for about 3 years, managing a MySpace page and then later a little bit of the Facebook page. Maybe it's the fact that I've been a graphic designer for 20-something years. And I'm used to criticism in all forms. Maybe it's because I've done like micro podcasting before and I've gotten feedback and I'm used to that. Maybe I'm just used to the feedback and the criticism and it just doesn't matter to me anymore. I mean, I come from the opinion that any and all feedback on any product that you create, be it a book, a song, a podcast, a comic book, TV show, whatever, should always be welcome to be open, out in the open for all to see, at any time, anywhere, any venue. I don't see the value in limiting where people can post things or trying to keep this certain image on say, a Facebook page. I remember when I was the manager of the local band here in Chicago, Dark Spectrum. I remember 2 incidents we had on this is MySpace. That's how long ago this was. So. And we didn't have too many people on the page at the time, but I remember somebody called the music amateurish. And you know what? We left the comment up there. We left it up there for all to see. And guess what? The band kept going for like 2, almost 3 more years. We survived. We left it up there. Somebody didn't like it. They called it amateurish. We left it. Somebody else later on, when we had a few more people, I think, somebody said that our lead vocalist sounded like an old woman. It was a death metal band, so I guess he thought the death growls and the shrieks sounded a little too much like an old lady. Okay, to which I actually replied to that when I said, "How old of a woman?" And then we actually got a couple more replies, and it turned into like a bit of a funny discussion. But the point is, we left the feedback up there. We left it all there for all the world to see, and we survived. And that's just how we did it, and we felt like it's fine because here's the thing about criticism. You can just dismiss it out of hand right away and say, well, you're just wrong. I don't agree. You can take part of it or you could take all of it and say, yeah, thanks for the insight. That's terrific. But either way, at the end of the day, you're in control. You're the one who can either take the criticism or not. And I don't know about you, but if somebody's wrong about something, I'm not going to yell at them for being wrong, or I'm not going to try and hide their feedback. I'll tell you right now, I can't think of any person, any YouTuber or podcaster or anything like that who will ever tell you that hiding comments or deleting people's comments is a good look. You know what I mean? It's just, people can take that the wrong way. People can see that and be like, oh, you're deleting comments, you censorship and this and this and that. And I know that's not the goal here. But it's just not, it's not necessarily a good look. So anyway, getting away from that, more criticism, right? Some guy on Facebook posts some guy on Facebook, I think it was a video game group or a comic book group, posted some tattoos that he liked. Some of them were his tattoos, and other ones were ones he had seen, I guess around. The original poster didn't ask for feedback, but you got somebody who said, those tattoos aren't very good. That's literally how he said it. He says, those tattoos aren't very good, sorry. And the original poster, oh my gosh, this guy who's looks like a 35 and up year old man, replies with wow, you want to shit on anything else of mine, you fucker? And then the other guy, of course, says, oh, you're sensitive. And then he's like, fuck you, ass clown. And I just stop and take a moment here as to why this happened. Somebody didn't like the guy's tattoos, and he just said he didn't like the tattoos. Some random guy on the internet. Somebody, you don't know, somebody you'll never see, somebody who has no influence over your life whatsoever, says he doesn't like something. You can choose to, ignore it, laugh, say he's wrong, or you can fly off the handle, I guess, like this guy. Why? Why are people like this? Why do people do this? I know maybe it's silly of me to look for logic and sense on Facebook because, it's usually not there. But I'm just trying to understand, what the fuck is wrong with people that some random person on the internet not liking your tattoo images sends you into this fury, this rage that you have to defend yourself and you have to come back. And it's like, why? Why? What the fuck is wrong with you? How insecure are you? And I guess the answer is pretty fucking insecure, I guess. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why people have to do this. Another incident is a friend of mine was in a black and thrash metal band a while back. He comes over with their first EP, 4 songs, and he plays it for me, and he says, now I want your full, honest feedback. Don't hold back. Be brutally honest. Lay it all out on the line. Don't hold anything back, right? So guess what? I took this person at his word because he specifically said, don't hold back. Go for it, right? I did. I broke down each song. I said, the gang vocals here sound weak. This guitar solo is boring. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And of course, this person who told me to be super brutally honest was ready for all the criticism in the world. What happens? He gets quiet. He gets quiet because you can tell that when he said, don't hold back, give me both barrels, don't hold back, give me both barrels, and tell me how you feel. He didn't mean it. I don't understand. Like, if you don't fucking want feedback, don't say you want feedback. If you honestly just want people to pat you on the head and say, good job, good boy, you did it, then say so. Don't come over here and say, give me both barrels of full, honest feedback. And then when you get them, don't get pissed off, all right? Here's the thing. I'm sure that everybody here has had this happen at least once, right? And it makes you not want to tell people the truth. But the problem with that is you get people who are delusional then. You know, these people who go on American Idol, they never had anybody tell them, no, you suck, you can't sing. So then when they finally get up there in front of Simon Cowell, somebody who doesn't give a shit, tell them that they suck, they can't believe it. They're devastated. They're destroyed. All because, oh, you got to be polite. You got to be polite. You know the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's a load of horseshit, man. Come on. If something sucks, you say it sucks. If something's good, you say it's good. You give your feedback. You don't just be polite. That doesn't get anybody anywhere. Is my art good? Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, you know. Do you honestly mean that? No. I'm just being polite. How the fuck does that help anybody? So I say, no matter what the fuck happens, always tell the truth. If somebody asks you for feedback and they can't deal with it, that's their fucking problem. And you people asking for the feedback, when you say you want feedback, brutally honest feedback, you need to fucking mean it. If you're over the age of, let's say, 25, and you can't handle feedback and you don't understand that the things you make are not you, and therefore, if someone talks about a song you made, let's say, and they say it sucks, that doesn't mean you suck. Do you understand this? Can you separate yourself from your art? Can you realize that you are not the things you make? You know, you need to be able to take criticism. You don't like every song out there, so why is it so unbelievable that someone else might not like your song? Ask yourself, have you ever heard a perfect song, like absolutely perfect, where you can't imagine any criticism whatsoever at all? It's just the absolute be-all, end-all, ultimate sounds of the gods. You know, it's just so perfect, right? If you're a reasonable person, you're going to say no. You say, no, there's no such thing as a perfect thing. Nothing in this world is perfect. Everything has a flaw in some way, shape, or form. So when you go and you present your song to someone and you ask them for your honest feedback and you don't actually want it and you somehow have deluded yourself into thinking that you have somehow cracked the code, you've somehow figured out the way to make the perfect song, because, you know, you can't imagine them having any feedback for you whatsoever because, you know, apparently, you have made the ultimate flawless song here. The next time that happens and they do criticize you, get your head out of your fucking ass and realize, well, gee whiz, nobody else seems to be able to make a perfect song. Why the fuck do I think I can? You know, just like you try to do your best. You try to do as good as you can. But people aren't always going to like it. And when that happens, you got to fucking deal with it. If you are not secure enough to present your product to the world and deal with the reaction the world gives you, don't release your product. Like I said, whether it's a song, a book, a story, a script, whatever the hell, if you can't let that go out into the world and have people give you honest reactions to it, you need to get into another fucking profession because you can't handle that. Now, of course, certain people's opinions are less valuable than others. And that goes back to what I was saying before, is you don't have to count everybody's opinion. But don't throw a hissy fit. A buddy of mine had a tattoo artist who was doing it for like 20 years, right? And he had a Facebook page, and I'm sure he still does. Hundreds of images of tattoos, thousands of comments, I'm sure. And I'm sure the majority of those are positive comments because he's really good at what he does. He has the technical skill and the creative skill. He's a very talented tattoo artist. There's a reason he's been in the game for 20 years. There is no doubt about it. Virtually anyone will see his portfolio of work and say, yes, this person knows what he's doing. He is a good tattoo artist. So here's the thing. Another friend of ours made some stupid offhanded comment about an Akira tattoo he had done. I believe it was an image of Tetsuo. He made some comment. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just something stupid like, oh, the cape looks bad or the cape's weird color or something. Something just very minor, and it's just like, oh, the bottom line is that this image, that person found to be less than perfect. There was, it wasn't great. What does the tattoo artist do? He flies off the fucking handle. He can't handle one person criticizing his art. Can't do it. Oh, you're insulting me. You're insulting. It's so insulting for you to leave such a comment, dude. No, I can't do it. And so me, I can't keep my mouth shut, like that's why I got this fucking podcast. I can't keep my mouth shut. So I chime in, I'm like, dude, and I tell him what I told you. I say, dude, you've been doing this for ages. Everybody loves your work. You obviously know what you're doing. You're obviously a professional. So why are you so bent out of shape over one person who doesn't like your stuff? One negative comment. And it just somehow it erases the thousands that you already have. Why do you need to have 100% of everybody kissing your ass? Why do you need this? Never got a reply. If you're secure in what you're doing, then why does criticism bother you? If you're new, then maybe you want to listen to criticism even more because you just started. Am I just the crazy person here? Because everybody I've always worked with, the people who were successful and the people that reached their goals, those are always the people who are able to listen to criticism, take what they need from it, discard the rest, and move on. They don't flip out. They don't get wiggy. They just say, okay, got it. And then they move on. I'm telling you right now, like, you need to be able to take criticism if you're going to be creating things. Just let it go. Let it be. Let the criticism just lay there. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to follow it. And you know what they say? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink. And if you feel that way, then who cares? What do they say? Fuck the haters? Yeah, just fuck the haters. Just deal with it. Be an adult. Be a grown-up. Be secure. And like I said, if you're not secure, then don't do it. Because if you can't handle the criticism, if it's not okay with you, then you're not going to have a very good time. One more thing to talk about, folks, and that's a follow-up back to January 6th. As you might recall, January 7th was the last time I did the podcast, so I, of course, talked about the Capitol insurrectionists. And the thing is, at the time, I was going off of live video and live reactions at the time. But as it always happens, you give it a few days, things cool down, and put it into a more cohesive picture. And one of the things I found just so fucking freaky to me was I remember watching it, and I remember the crowd chanting something. I thought they were chanting, blame Mike Pence. Blame Mike Pence. Blame Mike Pence. No, silly, naive me. They were saying, hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence. And somebody built a fucking gallows right there, right outside, with a noose, ready to go for Mike Pence. They wanted to fucking hang Mike Pence. That's fucked up. Just think about that. Just think about that. What could have happened if Capitol Police and everybody hadn't acted as quickly as they did and shuffled Mike Pence out of there? Here's the thing. Mike Pence is a piece of shit. We saw the fly land on his head for a reason. They're attracted to shit. Mike Pence is garbage. I don't want him fucking hanged on the Capitol steps here. Come on. That's the GOP. That's Republicans. That's Trump's people. That's not the left. That's not me. That's not progressives. So anyway, earlier today I saw the final day of the Donald Trump impeachment trial. And oh, good golly, big fucking shock, right? Donald Trump was acquitted. Yeah. Whole bunch of Democrats, 7 Republicans, I'll give them credit, 7 Republicans found their spines, but not enough to convict Donald Trump of this insurrection. The insurrection where people died. Mike Pence is now lying low and hiding because of the people that Donald Trump fired up enough to go march onto the Capitol, break in. Some of them were going to kill people, or at least take hostages or something. But no, he got off. He got off because, oh, big surprise, these same Republicans who go on the news and keep saying that it's a big waste of time and we need to all just move forward, they decided that it was a big waste of time and we all just needed to move forward. Is anybody surprised by this? Did anybody honestly think that fucking people like bitch-ass Rand Paul or something was gonna hear the testimony and look at the evidence and say, oh my gosh, you're right. This is terrible. Donald Trump should be convicted. You've changed my mind with your well-reasoned arguments and overwhelming evidence. Does anybody think that was going to happen? If you did, I got a bridge I can sell you down here in Chicago. This is what I mean by paying attention. This is what I mean by voting so that you don't get assholes like this into the Senate in the first fucking place. If we didn't have Rand Paul elected, if we didn't have Ted Cruz and the Hawleys of the world, maybe things would be a little bit different. Because honestly, it's not enough for the Dems to control the Senate and the House and have the presidency because they're the fucking Democrats. They'll find a way to fuck it up. So it's up to us. It's up to the voters to not let fuck faces like this into the Senate, into the House. Don't get them elected in the first place. So pay attention to state elections. Pay attention to judges. Pay attention to who is getting voted in. If you can't take a couple of hours every couple years or so to vet the candidate, to vote for the best choice, then get the fuck out of my country. Because it's people who don't vote and people who don't pay attention that are fucking it up for the rest of us. And now when things come to a goddamn head, you wonder what went wrong. Well, I'll tell you what went wrong. You didn't do your fucking job. Your job as a citizen of the United States is to make sure shit like this doesn't get in. So we're going to be watching. Next time we'll see what happens. That's all for now, folks. Good night, everybody.